stick with what is going to be here in 10 years. Like, what is going to be around in 5 years? Focus on that for your business. And I think that a lot of people will try to be innovative. They'll try to be the next Zuckerberg, and they'll try to make the next Facebook app. But if you focus on what will not change in your business, as opposed to how you think the environment's going to change in the next 3 to 4 years. I have to adjust and do this in 3 years. It's going to change this way in 5 years. I'm going to get ahead of the swing. That's no way to build your business, because you're going to be guessing into what's going to happen into the future. You don't want to guess into what is going to be around in 5 years. You're going to guess what's going to be popping next year, 2 years, because things change so quick. That might not be the case. So focusing on what will not change can give you a foundation, like we talked about last week. Creating a strong foundation is the most important when you're just starting. So if you have your foundation of what's not going to change moving forward in the coming years, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to be able to work on that foundation for a long time every single day. So what do I mean by things that aren't going to change? Let's take a look at a couple examples that have been around for a while and that probably aren't going to go away anytime soon. The first one of the largest companies in the world, is Amazon. What are their key principles that they work with? Well, they do fast shipping times. They've been doing that since the beginning. They always had the Amazon Prime delivery. So that's one of their key business features, is they want to get their customer the product as soon as possible. And they've done things like build their fleet. So now they have their own drivers that go out. They used to work through UPS and FedEx and stuff to deliver packages. And they built the business around getting customers their products fast. So they built their own delivery driving system. Now you see they have like the Rivian trucks that they're buying from Rivian to go all electric fleet and all these different things. So they're even enhancing it even more. Probably pretty soon it'll be self-driving Rivians that are delivering packages, and they don't even need people anymore. So it's going to evolve for them even more than it already has. A second principle they have is friendly return policy. So if you don't like something from Amazon, not only can you return it 99% of the time, but sometimes, and I've had personal experience with this, they just let you keep it. They're like, "Hey, listen, it costs more for us to send you a label and ship it back to us, store it in the warehouse, and then resell it than if you just kept the $10 product." So a lot of times Amazon just lets you keep the stuff you buy, even if you don't want it. So that's a friendly policy that they've done for a long time. Especially, I think that started with the books. A lot of people would buy books and then they used to return them. Amazon just said, all right, just keep them. Like, we're not a library. We don't want to, have old books on hold. And then also Amazon, they have evolved in other ways, like Amazon Web Service, but also it's just cheap products, right? Like, you could go on Amazon and pretty much get anything you want for a decent price. It's pretty competitive with every other online store. So those are three fundamental things: good prices, good customer service with returning goods, and fast delivery times that are going to be around, that have been around for 10 years, and that will be around into the future. So Amazon has laid a good foundation for that moving forward. Amazon's an anomaly because they're one of the largest companies in the world, but there's trends in this that other companies do as well. Another one that I wrote down here that I had that's a big one is, if you look at foreign car companies, specifically Japanese car companies, they're not the most luxurious. You're not going to get into one and think it's a spaceship that's got Alcantara leather. It's going to be all nice. But what they do very well is reliability. Toyota, Hyundai, Honda, all these cars are known for their reliability. So when customers buy these cars, they know that they're not just going to break down in a couple years, 2-3 years, that these are cars that are going to run for 20, 25 years, 30 years sometimes. You see old 1990 Honda Racers with loud exhaust rolling down the street all the time. So people know that when they're buying a Japanese car specifically, they're getting a reliable brand. And that's kind of what they did in the foundation, was we're going to give our customers nothing too exotic, not too luxury, but something that's just going to last them a long time. And that's what they've done very well, these Japanese car companies. So those are the things I'm talking about starting a base and knowing what's not going to change. If Japanese car companies started getting cute and they started wanting to go different routes, like if trying to compete with Lamborghini, Ferrari, making luxury cars, or even trying to compete with Mercedes and BMW, maybe it might not have worked out for them, but they knew what worked because these companies started making cars back in the 70s, that they knew based on what they already did from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And when the 2000s rolled around, they're like, we're not going to change what we're doing because it has worked and customers like it. And now Toyota is the largest selling car company in the world. They sell more cars than anyone over the past 10 years. Tesla's creeping up on them, but Toyota has been the top dog for a long time just because people know the reliability and the cheap prices that they're going to get from Toyota. So those are the type of things I'm talking about. If you guys have any other ideas related to that, please drop a comment below because there's so many different ways you could think about that. I have a few more things we could talk about. Things are going to change. Things are going to be different in a couple of years. But I wouldn't strictly focus your business around the change that's coming around the corner because you don't know exactly how it's going to look. You could work for the next 2 years building something that you think is going to be a new trend in online gaming, streaming, crypto. You could really build a business around that kind of stuff for what you think is about to come. But reality, you have to work on what is working now and not get too cutesy for what's coming up in the future because the trend could change the other way. Maybe it does change like you thought it was, but it changes a different way than how your business is structured and you can't do anything about it. So I think finding something that's going to work for your business now, and I talked about this last week, building a strong foundation. We talked about not being able to get too fine into the details. A lot of people want to paint the walls of their house before they have the sheetrock up. It's not possible. It's not going to work that way. You have to understand that you have to build the foundation first. You have to have the studs in. You have to have the concrete laid before you start getting too cutesy with the details. And I think the details and the stuff can change after time. And that's the stuff that does change. That's the stuff that's supposed to change is the paint on the walls of your business. So a lot of other things that could be interpreted in what I just said. So if you guys do have any questions, please drop that below. But for me, what I think, depending on what you guys do and what I do, is online sales, online internet marketing, online e-commerce. And what is going to work now that is going to work into the future and that has worked into the past is getting quality products to customers with good marketing. I think that is a reliable system that's going to move into the future forever, for the foreseeable future, because that's what online e-commerce has been. And even using the Amazon model, when they first started off, they started the bookstore, right? They were kind of the pioneer of online sales, online retail. Them and eBay. eBay had a different philosophy where people put the products up themselves, which later Amazon adopted, and now that's why you can buy anything you want on Amazon. But what is going to work for you, especially if you're starting off in 2025, what I would do if I was starting from completely scratch, is you have to take what you want to sell. It could be anything. That's the beauty of online sales, is you can sell anything you want. It could be a digital product, physical product, large, small, and whatever you're selling, and you could absolutely blast it out to the masses. And this was something that, if you guys didn't watch the University Live yesterday with Priamo, he hit on this point perfectly, and it actually resonated with me a lot, is that if you have a product and you're not marketing it to anyone, and you just have the page there, even say you're running ads, right? Because you could run ads and people are going to see it. But if you don't have eyeballs on what you're selling, it's pointless, right? It's pointless. So you have to make sure that you have your product and you have an efficient marketing plan of how you're going to do it. You have to own it, go after it, put it out there every single day, and people are gonna catch on and eventually want to buy it. So with the route you could go, I think getting a good product that you like, that you're going to stand behind for a couple years, and then just blast marketing, and you're bound to make money. It's a no-brainer. As long as you have a decent web page that could check people out, you have a couple pictures, it's easy. People do it every single day, and all you have to do is stay up on it, and you could go. And like I said, don't try to get too cutesy of what is going to be changing in the future, because who knows what it's going to be in a couple years. It could be completely different.